My name is Ouimet. I'm a screen print artist from Winnipeg. I grew up south of the city on a farm. I had nobody within a 10-kilometer range to have play dates with, so I drew all the time. I drew houses, I drew mostly architecture, I drew floor plans as a 5-year-old. It was just something I loved to do. So I always thought I was going to be an architect, and then in high school I kind of decided that that might not be the path I wanted to go down, and I wanted to be more of a graphic designer. The screen printing is a natural expansion from graphic design because there's a lot of overlap there. So I had part graphic design, part painting, part screen printing, is kind of all of it together. That's my lane. I take a lot of reference from where I grew up, and sky is everything, right? That's the most beautiful part of the prairies, in my opinion, so I always like to kind of bring that out in my pieces. I always like to put as less amount of information in a piece as possible. I like to have it very clean. I don't like using more than 4 or 5 colors per piece. I always give myself the challenge to kind of minimize and streamline, and I remove a lot of elements from cityscapes. I just like it to be cleaner, right? And so often it's a part of the building that I think that it just will be enough detail to get the story across, but still keep the clean lines that I've grown to be my style. All of my work is buildings that I love, or places that I love, or memories that I cherish, like the drive-in piece. Well, that's my 13th birthday specifically, right? That's where I am. That was my happy place. We went to see a movie as a family, and so that's where I pull from my memories. When I make a piece, it will speak to the local audience the most, because they're going to recognize that piece, whether it be a piece of architecture that's more well known, but it's also buildings that speak to me and that I have feeling. Like looking at it, you have an emotion, right? And that's kind of where I start from. And then by putting them at night, I always thought that buildings look better at night. You can see the inside, you can see what's going on. And that's kind of why I tend to gravitate a lot towards night scenes, because for me it's even without having people in them, it still brings life to the image, to the building. I've always known the stories that I want to tell, but now I'm able to just do it, and to have the level of gloss that I always want to portray, right? So these pieces look pretty much exactly how I had in mind before I started them. Every detail is pretty much exactly how I always saw it in my head. So.